So for this video, I'm not going to be focusing so much on the current nodal cycle and eclipses. I am going to reference them. There's a lot of other astrologers and tarot readers on YouTube that have information, more in-depth information on this particular nodal cycle and eclipse cycle. So if you want that information, it's readily available elsewhere. And I did list the current nodal cycle dates and the upcoming nodal cycle dates as well here, as well as the specific eclipse dates for the current nodal cycle that we're just wrapping up. We're coming to the close of the current nodal cycle, which is important to be aware of because the end of any nodal cycle usually brings with it big changes. The nodes of the moon moved into Sagittarius and Gemini beginning May 6, 2020, and will be leaving these signs in January 18, 2022. Sagittarius symbolizes the beliefs we've created via all the facts we acquired through its opposing sign of Gemini. Because Sagittarius is currently the south node of the moon, this roughly 18-month nodal cycle has been a time for us to gradually let go of or refashion any beliefs we've had that are no longer serving us. Over the past 17 months, we've had to surrender any crystallized beliefs and become open to new ideas about our own personal truth. During every 18-month nodal cycle, the eclipses bring whatever changes we are undergoing during that cycle to our awareness. Outside of the eclipses, the changes are in the works, but it isn't until the eclipses occur that what has been changing inside of us is revealed. And if you think back to just a year ago with the December 2020 eclipse season, you will begin to see the pattern of how your beliefs have been changing over this past year. The current eclipse season, which began late November and will last into the first week of December, will reveal a recurring theme of those changing beliefs. But these cycles of change that take place during a nodal cycle and that are revealed during the eclipses within that cycle are not a once-in-a-lifetime event. This is because the south and north nodes of the moon are in the exact same sign placements roughly every 18 years. If you think back to the last time the south node was in Sagittarius, which was between October 2001 and April 2003, you will likely find a pattern between what was occurring regarding your beliefs at that time and what is true for you and your beliefs now. The nodal cycles not only affect us as individuals, but as a collective as well. The last time the south node of the moon was in Sagittarius, 9/11 occurred, and during the current nodal cycle, coronavirus emerged. This pattern of the south node being in Sag and the occurrence of disasters that change and stir up collective beliefs and our sense of what is true and not true is reflective of how mind-shattering the Sag and Gemini nodal cycle can be. So what wisdom can be extracted from the info provided in this video? By paying attention to what sign is occupying the south node of the moon during any 18-month cycle and what is coming up for us during the eclipses within that nodal cycle, we can gain self-awareness about where we need to bring change into our being and lives. This is huge because this knowledge of cycles and how they work can help us to surrender to that change, which means that we won't end up having to repeat the same dynamics for another 18 years until the nodes cycle back around to the same energies and the universe brings up past issues we didn't deal with at that time. The nodes were in certain signs when we were born, which correlate to the south and north nodes in our birth chart. The theme of the signs the nodes were in when we were born become the theme of our entire life. Our south node sign represents the self-identity our soul is most experienced with, and therefore the most comfortable with, and represents the identity that will and must be changed over the course of our life via all the significant experiences that we have. Major changes to this identity don't begin to take place until our first nodal return, when the nodes of the moon re-enter the signs that they were in at the time of our birth. Every 18 years, we undergo a radical change in our self-identity. And the story of our life is a script, with chapter 1 beginning at our first nodal return, and chapter 2 starting with the nodal cycle that follows. What this means is that our life is a continual experience of cycle after cycle. If we don't learn what we are meant to learn the first time around and make changes accordingly, we will be faced with similar dynamics every 18 years until whatever change wanted to take place in us has been surrendered to, at which point we can move on to the next theme of change our soul wants to experience. Awareness of these cycles can teach us to surrender to whatever change is surfacing for us the first time around, which can save us a lot of suffering in the long run. 18 years is a long time to have to wait before the next opportunity to embrace any changes that will serve us. And if you guys are interested specifically in your own nodal return, I have a video on that on my YouTube channel. It gives all the dates for the nodes, and it also gives links to a nodal calendar. You can find that online. It's by Dr. Standley, Standley, if you want to check that out for yourself.